Eating and stealing and seeking a safe place to turn myself inside out without being discovered. A house full of clocks. Eating and stealing and seeking a safe place. I want you who've been there to hear me testify. Eating and stealing a safe place. This is not an after-school special. I want to mourn out loud that I gave away hours of days, of years, a house full of clocks to seeking a safe place to turn myself inside out without being discovered. We want to be discovered. I want to come out of the closet to say that I spent hours of days, of years, locking doors behind me, turning on faucets to drown out the sound, removing coats and gloves and sweater in Massachusetts winter, removing shirt to protect my image, leaning over the edge of smooth porcelain bowls, leaning over the edge in public stalls, leaning over the edge in friends' bathrooms, leaning over the edge in my own home with the shower turned on, leaning over the edge while I was supposed to be in class, leaning over the edge in high heels on holidays after I swore I'd never ever again. I hope those of you who've been there will hold me while I talk about this. I hope I can hold you while you listen. 1 out of every 10 young women in this country. 1 out of every 10 people in this room. One statistic says that 10% of individuals suffering from will die from starvation, cardiac arrest, medical complications, or suicide. I want to be one of those image sequences in an artsy movie where the broken glass moves from the carpet, where it is embedded piece by piece back to its original form on the bedside table, while night moves backwards through dusk and an afternoon before hitting morning, and bits of seeds blow against the wind to nestle back on their dandelions. I want to talk about vomit, but I want to take it back before you can smell gluttony or illness on my breath. What you're hearing is political. This has everything to do with being a woman afraid to be seen or heard. Age 4, I learned my sister got hit when she opened her mouth, and worse when she opened her legs. Age 10, I learned to look down at my thighs, and so I was disgusted. Age 12, I learned my father was fucking a woman half my mother's size. I want to testify about the binging. I'm afraid she will think I'm a pig. I want to say this because secrets send me back, and we are not pigs. I'd swell my belly up good with cake from the grocery store, with cereal from my roommate's cupboard, with ice cream from McDonald's, with donuts from the trash can, with fear of my own power. I would eat while driving, while walking, until I couldn't breathe. I would go searching for a door to lock behind me to begin the ritual. Please hold me while I say that I'd lean over that porcelain bowl, and this is where the private performance began. I'd lick 2 fingers on my right hand or run them under the faucet to make things go smoothly. Then I would stick them good into my throat, and I would beckon like a butch on her lover's G-spot. That's right, it was sexual. It was disgusting, and it was my art and my sport and my sex and my shame. It was my poetry. This has everything to do with being a queer in a homophobic world. As much as I'd love to part my first female lover's legs and explore that mirror of me, I had to binge and purge to slow down the desire, to slow circulation between head and heart and clit, to forget that I was terrified of being hated for fucking who I needed to fuck. Instead of lingering in my lover's bed, in my tiled temple, on my knees, I would beckon and draw slow, wide circles inside my throat until it opened, until saliva came, followed by rushes of warm chunks, followed by liquid splashing into the bowl, into my face, forearms dry, I would cough and coax until more came. It would come until my knuckles were raw and I was empty and spent. This is not quite life, and it is not quite death. It is theater. This has everything to do with being an artist. I've been trying to come up with a way to make vomit pretty, or at least to make myself look pretty while talking about vomit, but art isn't always pretty. I want to admit that I spent hours of days of this life cleaning up after my own vomit, cleaning public toilets with shaking hands, wiping somebody else's shit from the rim of a bowl because it was caked underneath my wet mess, doing this because it was safer than being a woman, a queer, an artist. I want to mourn out loud that I gave away hours of days, of years, a house full of clocks. I want to wail loud and ugly. I want to write awkward and brave. I want to paint my landscape on the wall with pudding, write our secrets in the dirt. I want to hold you while you listen, want to tell and tell and tell. I want to tell and tell and tell. I want to tell and tell